The group of robbers boldly took off their masks right in front of the hostages because every single hostage had been blindfolded with a red eye mask. After securing 30 billion won, the robbers were about to leave when someone suddenly pressed the alarm. Curious, Blake secretly lifted his blindfold, only to find that the robbers themselves had triggered it. Mike ripped off Blake's blindfold and told him to look all he wanted. Blake immediately shut his eyes and begged for mercy because everyone knew the rule. If you saw a robber's face, you were as good as dead. But these robbers weren't following that rule. They removed every hostage's blindfolds, yet didn't lay a hand on anyone. Their leader had made it clear. This operation was to be completely bloodless. The police soon arrived. The robbers fired harmless shots into the air, then threw out a smoke bomb. It looked like they were cornered, but being surrounded was exactly their plan. South Korea quickly sent in negotiation expert Lisa to speak with the leader. Her first question was how many helicopters they wanted. Lisa wasn't called a negotiation god for nothing. Her question seemed like she was helping them escape, but it was actually a clever way to gauge their numbers. One helicopter only fits 4 people. The leader said 1 was enough. The commander beamed. If there were fewer than 4 robbers, they could storm the place and end this. But Lisa strongly objected. She suspected the robbers were up to something. Still, the commander had already issued the order, and South Korea's elite unit Flying Bulls was at the door. When they stuck a camera through the entrance, what they saw left everyone speechless. There appeared to be over 30 robbers inside. Just as the commander hesitated, a new report came in. The robbers had uploaded a hostage video online. When they watched it, the horrifying truth was revealed. All the hostages had been dressed in identical robber uniforms and given fake weapons. Now, the police had no way to tell who was who. To make matters worse, one of the hostages was the daughter of the U.S. ambassador. The commander panicked and immediately ordered a retreat. The truth was, these robbers weren't after the 30 billion won at all. Their real plan was to use the seized mint and its staff to print brand new, untraceable currency, targeting a total of 4 trillion won.
He had already given all his money to the robber, but the robber still won't let his wife go. The arrogant robber was gloating.
I swear I will fight and end.
6 months later, the man awoke from his coma. He found himself lying on an operating table, and his body was filled with all kinds of instruments. It's a mysterious tech company that develops technology that can bring people back from the dead. As a special forces soldier, Gray was prioritized to become their experimental subject. They injected countless nanobots into the dead Gray's body. They filled the whole body instead of blood. In this way, not only did he realize his rebirth, but also gave him the ability to quickly repair his wounds. Nowadays, Gray could easily penetrate sandbags with a single punch, and even concrete pillars couldn't withstand his mighty power. Suddenly, painful memories instantly appeared in his mind. He remembered his wife's killer, Martin, so he couldn't wait to take revenge. Gray used the nanobots to find Martin's information and location from the police department's database. It didn't take him long to find Martin. However, he didn't know that it was all a trick by the doctor.
This man was eating his meal when suddenly, a massive explosion tore a hole through the wall of his house. A squad of fully armed soldiers stormed into the room, but instead of panicking, he instantly countered their attack, took one of them down, and held the rest at gunpoint, demanding they drop their weapons. Seeing that no one reacted, the man pulled the trigger without hesitation, because he knew none of them dared to shoot him. His name is Mike, and he's one of the top assassins in the world. After leaving the house, Mike climbed into an armored vehicle and set off with a convoy. It turned out a man named Carl had hired him to escort a girl to the United States. The deal included a $500,000 payout and a digital ID chip meant to bypass police scans. After getting out, he boarded a car that was airlifted by helicopter toward the destination. By dawn, he arrived at a convent. The girl he needed to escort was named Nora. A nun would accompany them, and the group immediately set off for the train station. In the middle of a dense crowd, Nora suddenly felt an overwhelming fear and bolted in the opposite direction. Sister Joan and Mike ran after her, trying to bring her back, but Nora resisted with all her strength. While they argued, a massive explosion erupted inside the train station. That was when Mike realized this girl might have some sort of precognitive ability. Later, he brought them to an underground fight club where he asked an old friend to help them get smuggled into the US. His friend managed to get 3 boat tickets. Just as they were about to leave, several burly men blocked their path. They claimed to be sent by Nora's father and offered Mike $1 million to hand her over. Mike tossed the cash into the air and used the distraction to flee with the others. Even though the offer was double, Mike was a professional with a code. As they fought their way through the chaos, the enemy numbers overwhelmed them. Nora was captured by a fighter and dragged into the cage. Mike followed, and when the fighter attacked, Mike had no choice but to fight back. The man was huge, but Mike was faster and smarter. Within a few moves, he had the fighter pinned down. At Nora's plea, he finally let him go. Once Nora learned these men were sent by her father, she ran off with them. Mike caught up and shot one of them in the leg. Nora didn't want anyone hurt because of her, so she reluctantly returned to Mike's side. The next day, the group followed Mike's friend to the shore, ready to begin their escape. Suddenly, a whistle blew, and everyone froze. The ice cracked open, and a nuclear submarine slowly rose to the surface.